And at that time, I was looking, and I decided one day in the afternoon, that time I woke up early. So I decided to go to church. And I went to church, and I'm like, you know what? I was asking God for guidance, you know. I used to bow down in my mom's room, and I used to say, God, you created me, and you know what I need better than myself. Choose for me the right way, and I would not look back. I'll leave everything behind. And at that time, I had a music contract. I had my 12 songs already written down, and I was going to record the album. And I was in that stage of making a choice. So I decided to look for guidance, and I remembered that I had the Quran. And I said, oh, I remember this Quran. You know, I heard that this Quran has wisdom. And actually, the guy that recommended my friend this Quran is doing 35 years to life for killing those two friends that I had. So Allah used him to tell him that the Quran has wisdom, and I ended up with it. So, as I'm reading the Quran, I come across إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. At a time when I was saying, who am I going to ask for help? I don't trust nobody. And then it said, you alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to only worship God, and I'm only going to ask Him for help. So then, I continue reading the Quran, and it said Allah, and I said, I'm not used to saying Allah, I'm going to say God. So I could just continue reading. And I continue reading the Quran. Whenever I found the command, I began to do it. The Quran said, read the Quran in Fajr as witness. I will wake up when everybody in my house is sleeping. Quiet between me and God. And I used to read the Quran for a good hour, close the Quran, go to sleep, and feel like I accomplished something. Because it was in secret between me and God. Then my parents wake up, everybody gets ready to go to work, and I already did something. They're just waking up. So I kept doing this for months. And then I read another ayah, Kutiba alaykum as-siyam, prescribed for you is fasting. So I began to fast, but I wasn't lucky as you. I didn't know about Maghrib. All right? So I didn't know how to fast. So, and Omar, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to step. I'm not a comedian either. It's just natural, you know. But honestly, I began to fast until I felt pain. Because I said, I am not a hypocrite. I'm going to fast until I feel what the poor people feel. And when I feel that pain that I can't resist, then I will eat. Because I know my refrigerator is filled with food. So what's the point of fasting? So I did that. Then one ayah about giving charity, a verse about giving charity. So I used to rock DKNY. And I decided one day to give away all my, more than $3,000 worth of clothes, all DKNY. I put in bags. And my mom was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to give it in charity. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And I wasn't taking no advice. I was just, the Quran said, give charity, sacrifice that which you love. And I was just doing it. So I grabbed these bags and I went to the nearby shelter and I put it in front of the door. And I was learning about doing things in secret between me and God. So I just rang the bell and I ran. And I used to know how to run and hide and stuff like that. So I dipped, the dip, right? So I dipped. And alhamdulillah, but the feeling that I got when I'm walking home was amazing. Was amazing. So after 9 months of reading the Quran and practicing everything that I read in it with the commentary, I said to myself, I'm Muslim. What is God going to say? Why you didn't go to the mosque? Why? I'm like, I got to go to the mosque. I chose to go to the mosque on a Friday. And actually, Friday night, I chose to go to the mosque, and the mosque is in the same block that I used to hang out. So for sure, my friends were there. I'm like, man, these guys haven't seen me for a while. How am I going to... And then I'm here, this is nafs al-lawama, the nafs that's in a battle with itself. And I'm like, you know what? Now I got to go. Allah's going to ask me on the day of judgment, why you didn't go? So I went. So then my friend came, and when you're trying to come clean, Shaitan comes with the beer and with the blood, and he tried to convince you it's all right, right? So my friend came with a beer. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to fake it. I'm just going to hold it until I find out how to get in the mosque. And I'm here standing in front of the mosque, looking on top, and it has the word Allah, and I'm standing and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, man, how am I going to get in this place, right? I usually don't go. Yeah, I used to sneak in parties, but not, what are they going to say coming in with, baggy pants, with a bandana or something like that? What are they going to say? And I'm like, I don't want to get locked up. And so I'm like, then I saw a friend who I knew for 8 years, who used to play basketball with me, who was Muslim, right? And he sometimes used to wear the kufi in high school. And his parents, he was disciplined. He's passing by, and he knows me. And he knows that I used to have meanies in my house, like 50, 80 deep. And I said, man, I have to ask him. Allah's going to ask me, why you didn't ask him? So I'm like, Muhammad. He comes back. He was going to the mosque. It was a Friday night, picking up his brothers and sisters from the Friday night school. So he comes back, and I said, listen, I want to go to the mosque. He said, you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, why? I said, well, I spent 9 months reading the Quran, and I believe in everything that's inside of it. And then I began breaking down to him and telling him, and he was like, okay, but right now the Imam is gone, everything, you will have to come on this day where there's like an Imam that speaks English. So we made an agreement to come on Wednesday. So Wednesday came, and I'm here, I'm getting ready, I take a shower, I got dressed, and then it's almost 7 o'clock. And I'm like, wait a minute. We agreed 7 o'clock. We agreed Wednesday, but we didn't agree where we're going to meet. So I'm like, do I have to go to his house? Or is he going to come to my house? And I'm like, man, I have to go to his house. Allah's going to ask me, if I don't go to his house, why you didn't go to his house? You really want to go to the mosque? Then you go to his house. So I go to his house. I'm like, man, his parents know me. So then I go, and I did similar to what I did in the shelter. So you have to go up long stairs. Yeah, Don said, we got stairs in Jersey, not in Beaumont. We don't have many stairs in Beaumont. But in Jersey, we have stairs. So I go up these long stairs, and I ring the bell, and I ran down. And then the mother comes out. And she's like, come in. She already knew. So I go in, the first time I go in a Muslim house, and I see the ayahs of the Quran and so on. So I went to the masjid that day, and I met the Imam. And the Imam asked me, so, how do you learn about the Quran? Where do you get the Quran? And I said, I was blunt. I stole it. He said, what? I said, I swear, I never seen an Imam run so fast. He said, you got to give it back. I said, I'll give it back unless I get the same copy. He said, this was my only friend. You think I'm going to give it back? This is the one that helped me get rid of my addiction to alcohol. This is the one that helped me learn how to be patient when I didn't have patience. This is the one that only gave me good advice. You think I'm going to give it back? Give me the same copy, and I'll give it back. And if I don't get the same copy, then I'll buy this one. So then he ran in the library, and he says, is this one, this one, this one? And I said, yeah, it's this one. And then he gave me the same copy. So, alhamdulillah, in the process of learning about Islam and going to the mosque, I began going home in the morning after Fajr. And I used to find my mom in the kitchen. And in finding my mom in the kitchen, I used to read the Quran there. And sometimes I would find something interesting about Jesus and Mary. And I said, Mom, can I share with you something? And she was like, Okay. So I began reading to her the Quran. And it became a daily thing. Every day after Fajr in English, I would just read to her the Quran. Then, alhamdulillah, I got married. And my mom comes to me one day and she's like, you know, I miss your reading of the Quran. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. And a lot of the questions that I had that made me leave the convent were answered through your reading of the Quran. And I was like, so you believe in what you heard? She's like, yeah. And I want to be Muslim. So then, alhamdulillah, my mom became Muslim 2 years after me. And then she faced some hardship though, because she went to the mosque and somebody told her, you know, if you accept Islam, you have to divorce your husband. So my mom was like, man, I've been married for 30 years. 30 years to a good man who never raised his hand at me, never cursed at me, was committed, worked hard, used to come home used to be home in his day off and clean the bathrooms and without me asking him, used to help around the house, used to cook. And this is sometimes rare in similar societies. So she said no. So it made her stop. That time I was in Hajj. I was from Union City to Hajj, not Hollywood to Hajj. I was from Union City, yeah, so I was in Hajj and I came back, my mom didn't accept Islam. So then I told her, Mom, save yourself from the hellfire. If you believe in this and that there's only one God, just return to your nature that there's only one God and that Muhammad is the final messenger and that Jesus was a messenger and that Moses was a messenger. And then we tried with my dad. So she said, okay. So she accepted Islam. 4 months later, in a convention like this, with Imam Siraj, Imam Zaid Shakir, Zaid Shakir, and others, my dad, alhamdulillah, accepted Islam. So, would my dad accept Islam if my mom would have divorced him? You know the answer I'm not going to say. But, alhamdulillah, a year later, my brother accepted Islam, my older brother accepted Islam, and I was blessed with the desire to seek knowledge, to be able to teach, alhamdulillah. So I was blessed. One time, I wanted to seek knowledge, and I left my job, and I started coming to conventions. And I came to a convention like this, the Igna Mass Convention. And I was running around and looking for people to talk to and ask them. And I want to just hoping for an opportunity to meet somebody that can open the door so I can go overseas and seek knowledge. So alhamdulillah, I decided to go to Egypt. And I was blessed with the ability with the opportunity to go. And when I went to Egypt, I met Brother Mujahid. Alhamdulillah, I didn't know I was going to meet a Hispanic there. And subhanAllah, we were celebrating Eid, and it was all Hispanic. I swear, we killed the sheep, and we didn't pay for it, man. We got it as a gift, but we didn't pay for the work. We cut the neck, and we peeled it, and we cooked it up, and my kids first were walking it, and then they were eating it. And they was like, it tastes good. First they were sad, but they were extremely happy. They were extremely happy with the aftermath. Alhamdulillah. So, it was a blessing to be in Egypt and learn about Islam and meet wonderful people. Meet Brother Mujahid and, alhamdulillah, Imam Suhaib and others. And alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to utilize us for His sake. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because when we accept Islam, Islam is not a hobby. Islam is our life. It's 24 hours a day, nothing else than submitting to God's will. And whoever Allah loves, yashrah sadrahu lil Islam, which is He opens up his heart and the person embraces Islam, submits to Allah. So this is from Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to preserve us in His way. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.